Man, after this story, you'll be as worried as I am for our generation, dude. Because today, I have a story time of a Gen Z kid who goes absolutely insane and literally does probably the cringiest things you have ever seen. So while this story might make you worried about our generation, it's also pretty funny, so let's jump right into it.
And we're crying, crying, crying like a wounded animal.
So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story, Mike. So anyways, there was a kid in Mike's class who we're going to call Ben, but Ben was basically the Gen Z kid. He is like the Gen Z kid of the story. He's the quintessential, like, literally spends 6 hours a day on TikTok, believes in astrology signs, technically is in the Gen Z generation, right? It basically ticks all the boxes of, like, stereotypical cringe Gen Z person. And by the way, I'm in Gen Z too, so it pains for me to tell you this story. But anyways, right, Ben had fallen down the TikTok rabbit hole of how to get women, right? The kind of like you need to do X, Y, and Z. I am a alpha male guru. So look, there's some stuff online of people who are genuinely will teach you, okay, it's good to have proper hygiene. It's good to get your money situation good. It's good to get your physical situation good. It's good to get your mental situation good. And I'm all for that type of content. I even watch a little bit of it myself. However, there's very clearly other types of content of hey guys, I'm an alpha male. I will show you no proof that, any woman actually likes me. However, you can spend $10,000 for me to teach you primal instincts that will make you more... Look, just kind of BS like that. So yeah, sure enough, Ben, the Gen Z kid, fell down one of these TikTok rabbit holes. And one day, while Mike and all of his friends were sitting at the lunch table, Ben sits down with them. And he's like, boys, come. And they're all like, yeah, what's up? He's like, boys, you guys aren't ready for the amount of ladies I'm going to score, bro. I literally just got the best, I just got taught insider information of how to get women. And dude, Mike kind of looks at his friends and they kind of look back at him and they're kind of just thinking to themselves, what does this kid mean, insider information of how to get women? It's not like there's a secret code, oh no, man, guys, he knows the secret formula, not the Krabby Patty secret formula. No, so basically, he goes on to say, look, you guys aren't even prepared for this. This is going to be the craziest thing ever. I saw this on TikTok yesterday and will literally blow women away. And so basically, Ben, the Gen Z kid, tells Mike and all of his friends what he's going to do. I'm not going to tell you it. I'm just going to tell you when he does it. But basically, Mike's reaction, as well as all of Mike's friends' reaction, is basically looking at this kid with the blankest expression possible, giving him the blankest stare of bro, you cannot be serious right now, bro. Because basically, the Gen Z kid, Ben, told them the goofiest, most ridiculous thing they've ever heard. So let's skip ahead to when the Gen Z kid, Ben, actually does his secret trick, right? So anyways, they're in class, and Mike has one class with Ben. And anyways, it was a kind of it was a lab type class. So what would happen was they get lab partners, they'd be given a lab assignment, and they'd have a lab report they'd have to do with it. But the teacher kind of didn't really supervise them that much. She'd legitimately leave the room and just let them kind of just do whatever they need to do. There was no seriously dangerous chemicals or any combinations they could make that would result in injury or anything like that. So the teacher felt pretty confident in letting them kind of just do what they want to do. And so, yeah, there's actually a lot of periods of time where they'd all kind of just be in class. And this was kind of more of a chill period. This wasn't a really hard, this wasn't AP chemistry or something. This was kind of a chill science class. So the people in the class got along really well. But Ben was about to ruin this all. Because anyways, remember how I was telling you guys about how Ben had a secret to pick up ladies that he learned on TikTok? Well, this is what the secret was. So anyways, Mike was watching as Ben goes up to a girl, right? So we're going to call this girl Maddie, right? So Maddie's just kind of sitting there. She's with her lab partner. They're doing whatever. And Ben literally walks straight up to her as he was instructed to do in the TikTok video he was watching. And Maddie looks up because she's just kind of hello, question mark. And Ben looks at her and goes, wop, 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 wop. Dude literally starts barking at her, bro. So Maddie's just looking at him what? Dude, what? Yeah, so basically, yeah, he just starts barking at this girl, Maddie, just barking at her. because he learned on TikTok that barking will like assert masculine dominance, and like the ladies will understand the level of testosterone you have to go up and bark at someone. Basically the most backwards, reverse, insane logic ever. But here's the thing, man. If you see something on TikTok, it has to be 100,000% true 1,000,000,000% of the time. Obviously. Come on now. Let's catch up, right? So anyways, Maddie's just looking at this kid, Ben, who's barking at her. The entire class, which was kind of just having a chill conversation, like kind of just good vibes. They're sitting there doing their lab report, talking with each other. They all kind of stopped doing what they're doing to look over to see this kid legit barking at this girl, bro. Like, huh? What? Yeah, so he just keeps on barking at this girl, and Maddie's kind of just looking real confused. And kind of like looks at her friends like, guys, a little bit of help, please, bro. Like, someone want to do something? So sure enough, like eventually Ben actually just stops barking at her and walks immediately towards Mike. And Mike is thinking, no, 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 no. You are not allowed to associate me with this nonsense, bro. Yeah, but sure enough, Ben walks all the way over to Mike and stands by his table and looks at Mike. And Mike is looking at Ben like, dude, do not open your mouth. I don't want to hear a word from you, dude. Like, I don't want to be associated with this nonsense. Please don't get me roped in on this. And yeah, sure enough, Ben did get him roped in because he's like, dude, did you see what I did over there? And Mike looks at him. He's like, how could I not have noticed what you did over there? You started barking at some random girl. Like, I told you that was a stupid idea at lunch today. And Ben's like, dude, you just don't understand. Like, she could totally understand my level of testosterone and alpha male-ismness. And she is like super like, wow, he's so hot and awesome. And Mike's like, dude, I guarantee you that is not how she's thinking right now. I guarantee you it. And Mike's like, dude, how do you know? Are you in Maddie's mind right now? I don't think so. And Mike's like, bro, just look over at her. And so they look over, and Maddie's like all red or whatever in the face because she's just embarrassed by what just happened. And there's like 6 girls around her. They're all like laughing or whatever. Look, if you like ask out a girl, or you say something that's really making your intentions clear, or you bark at her, I don't know, and afterwards she's surrounded by a group of girls and they're all laughing, 9 out of 10 times, that's not a fantastic sign. 9 out of 10 times. Maybe 1 out of 10, you're like super lucky and she's like laughing like, oh my God, I'm so happy right now because this super hot guy started barking at me, so I'm just going to laugh my feelings out. Look, normally that's not how it goes. But here's the thing. Gen Z kid Ben was not done. Because a week goes by and Ben starts smelling like complete crap, bro. He smells awful. And at one point, Mike actually says something to him. He's like, dude, look, as someone who's your friend, which was kind of a stretch of the word friend, because Ben and Mike were not really friends. Mike was kind of trying to keep his distance. But anyways, that's regardless. And he says, look, as your friend, I got to say something. Dude, you're not smelling so great. And Ben says, correction, I'm smelling extra primal right now. And Mike looks at him and is like, dude, what the frick does that mean, bro? Like, what do you mean you smell more primal? What? And yeah, sure enough, Ben's like, dude. So I was watching these TikToks of this guy who's like, gets all the ladies. And he was saying that like, look, there are like pheromones and hormones and trombones that are released into the air when, by your body, because your whole body's like a sound wave or something. And Mike is just looking at him like, dude, what are you saying? And Ben goes on to say, yeah, so basically, the ladies are picking up subconsciously on all the, the odors and smells that come out. And they're basically judging, how primal are you? And Mike's just like, dude, what are you saying? That is not happening. And Ben's like, so I was told by this guy who's like super cool, by the way. He basically said, look, it's more cavemanian of us to not shower or do anything like that. So I've been trying to as he puts it, supercharge my pheromones and trombones and hormones. And yeah, dude was actually sneaking trombones into there, bro. Like, obviously meaning nothing. But sure enough, Mike's like, yeah, or Ben's like, yeah, so I haven't showered for the last week, and I've been getting a lot of looks lately. And Mike basically slaps his face because he's like, of course you're getting a lot of looks lately. You smell terrible, bro. I don't know how else to put it. Man. What? Yeah, so sure enough, Mike and Ben decide to agree to disagree on over if not showering is actually going to improve his chances with the ladies or not. Speaking of showers, comment a shower down below if you made it this far into the video, and leave a like while you're down there. By the way, you can listen to these videos on Spotify, and if you're on Spotify, make sure to rate 5 stars, and let's get back to it. So sure enough, right, Ben, the Gen Z kid, has fallen way down one of these TikTok rabbit holes of like, how to get women to love you, man. And yeah, so sure enough, right now, he has barked at this girl, Maddie. He's now not showered for an entire week because he thinks it will release more pheromones, hormones, and trombones. Yep, quote unquote. And he's not done. He is not even done. Because for the next 2 weeks, he legitimately does not speak to anyone. And look, you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe he just doesn't normally, like, why is that a big deal? Like, I sometimes don't speak to people. I don't mean sometimes. I mean never. And here's the thing, too. This kid, Ben, was very talkative and very outgoing before. Look, I've definitely, especially like last year when I was more of a shut-in last year than I am now, and I'm intentionally trying to talk to people so that I don't get to like the, oh, I'm not talking to anyone, sad, right? But some people are, you know, they talk to everyone all the time, and Ben was one of those people. So all of a sudden, it was really weird for him to not talk to anyone. It didn't look like he was really sad or anything. He looked like his total normal self. He held himself in his total normal way. But when someone would go to talk to him, he'd literally turn and run away. Like, bro was legit dodging conversations. So 3 weeks later, 3 weeks of this, and also smelling worse and worse every single day. So he smells terrible and he refuses to talk to anyone. Eventually, he sits down at the table. But he does so really secretly, like he's looking both ways, almost like he's being stalked or something. So obviously, like, Mike and his friends are like, dude, like, where have you been? And Mike's like, bro, I haven't talked to anyone in the last 3 weeks, and no one can see us having this conversation right now. You need to promise me. So at first, Mike's like, okay, is this kid, like, hunted by the mafia? Does he have, like, a target on him? Like, what? Like, bro, why is bro going so crazy right now? But whatever, hear him out. So Ben goes on to say, look, I was watching TikTok again, and the guy I was following says that ladies really like the popular loners. And Mike's like, no way, dude. And sure enough, Ben's like, yeah. So basically, I'm trying to, like, talk to nobody so that people think I'm really, like, a loner, lone wolf, mysterious, and all that type of stuff. So, like, people can't see me talking to you right now. It's going to totally break the perception. And, yeah, so Mike is thinking to himself, actually, right now, the perception is, you're the kid who barked at a girl, smells terrible, and doesn't talk to anyone. I really don't think that is giving off the exact persona that you think it is, bro. Like, I hate to break it to you, but I really don't think you're conveying exactly what you think you're conveying. By the way, yeah, so the guys at the table try to tell him this. They're like, dude, like, no. Like, sure, it can work if you're a little bit more kept to yourself, but normally, like, that's attractive when you're kept to yourself because, like, you're working on something. You got big ambitions. You got things you want to do. Basically, that's good when you have a lot of things to do, not when you're intentionally, like, avoiding people. And also, like, keeping to yourself is good and all, but you're probably not going to get out there a lot if you keep to yourself. And they also tell him, dude, stop with the primal pheromone no showering stuff, dude. Like, that's really not good. I can smell you from here. And they were, like, sitting on the other side of the table. They're like, look, when you get up and leave, this table's probably going to smell bad for another hour. Just, like, please take a shower. And the Gen Z kid, Ben, is like, well, I've actually been thinking about that a little bit. I'm not totally sure how long I'm supposed to do intervals of no showering. And they're like, well, maybe you should start a new interval and shower, please. But you might be thinking that this is it. The Gen Z kid, Ben, cannot get any worse or any more insane, right? And not do anything more cringy. You would be sadly mistaken. Because, in fact, this was all preparation for the biggest event yet. So basically, 2 days later, Ben comes back. And he sits down. And he smells a little bit better, but not great. And he's talked to a few people, but not that many. And he sits down and tells everyone, hey guys, I just wanted to say that the last month of training has been really hard. From barking at ladies, to not showering, to being a popular loner. All this effort has come together for the day of execution. I will actually follow through with my plans. And they're all like, wait, bro, what are you talking about? Like, what plans? And he's like, do you know Stacy? Okay, context. They're in 6th grade. Stacy is the 8th grader. Their school goes from like kindergarten to 8th grade. So she's like the oldest girl. Stacy's also very popular, and every guy likes Stacy like that, right? So she's already like the top dog of her grade, and she's 2 grades older than these guys. So in some cases, like the older guys will, maybe shoot down a little bit and like, I don't know, go around with like the younger grades. Like I've seen that happen in middle school and high school or whatever, but very rarely do younger guys go up. It's just kind of how it goes from what I've seen. So not only is Ben, the Gen Z kid, trying to, or is going to try and, not to shoot upwards, but he's also going to shoot upwards for someone who's super popular. And also, when he hasn't been showering, barks at ladies and doesn't talk to anyone. So yeah, sure enough, they were kind of like, Mike's like, okay, like, maybe don't do that, dude. But if you are, when are you going to do it? And Ben's like, oh, dude, I'm doing it right now. And they all are like, what? The whole table is kind of like, dude, no, that's not a good idea. And Ben's like, I know you're a hater. I know you're going to be so mad when I'm with the girl that you really like, but that's too bad, so sad for you guys. And Ben stands up abruptly and starts just beelining it right towards her table, the table that Stacy's at. And at this point, Mike is like, we tried to stop them, boys. We did our best. We did our freaking best. Whatever happens next is out of our control. So they watch as Ben walks up, and he must have learned a lot of pickup artist, TikTok, cringe type stuff, because he goes up, he's like, what's up, baby? You know the human body is 80% water, and I'm feeling extra thirsty right now. And this girl, Stacy's just looking at him. Because remember, Stacy's kind of like the popular mean girl type whatever, so she's got a few minions around her. She really cares about the 8th grade social status scene or whatever. Look, middle school politics is messed up, and she's way into them, right? So she's probably calculating right now, what clout hit did I just take from a unpopular weirdo, like 6th grader, hitting on me in front of everyone? The whole like cafeteria stops doing what they're doing because, right, the Gen Z kids, Ben, is like shouting that pickup line, which I'm not going to repeat because there's too much cringe coming out of my mouth. But he was like, so, you want to go on a date this Friday? I'd love to go on a date this Friday because I know I would. I know you would too. So, do you want to go to the local ice cream shop? Maybe pick up a movie or something? Maybe. He's like, hey, Stacy, what's your answer? I can't wait around forever. I got a lot of important business and stuff to go to. I'm a businessman. I'm a business mogul. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Stacy? And this girl is just like sitting there. No response. Nothing, right? She's just staring blankly at this kid. And this kid is not getting the point that she's not into him, bro. I don't know how else to put it. And eventually, Stacy just doesn't say anything. And this kid is like, Stacy, I can't read your mind, Stacy. Even though if he like actually tried to read her body language, he would know that this was the hardest no on planet Earth. If she wanted to, she would have just said yes. But she was just frozen in fear of like, oh my God, my social status is ruined. This stinky 6th grader just asked me out. My world is over, right? So Stacy doesn't say anything. And Ben's like, okay, that's cool. I'll just leave my number here. And he literally must have planned this because he pulls out of his like pants like a piece of paper with his number on it, slides it on the table, and walks back. And walks back to where Mike is. And he sits down and he's like, that's how it's done, boys. And Mike just looks at him. And everyone at the table just looks at him and is like, that's how it's done? That's how it's done?